All right. Speaking of writing their final research paper, your method section has been submitted. So now you are part of a peer review process here to make that method section even better. And what peer review is, it's a procedure that is used by all the higher quality journals in psychology and actually any discipline. They rely on peer review to make sure that the quality of the writing is high. And what it is that you get reviewed, people take another look, and the people are the ones that are at your level. So when I hand my manuscripts in for submission, they send them out to other psychology professors, to other psychology researchers, for them to take a look at it and say, is this any good and should changes be made? So we're going to do the same thing, and your peers, your fellow students, are going to be the ones that are reviewing your work. So this, again, is just to improve the quality of your research, the quality of the writing. That's why we have this peer review process. So the way that it works, it is going to be anonymous. As long as you don't have your name anywhere on your method section draft, nobody will know that it comes from, that it came from you. So you're not going to know who's reviewing your work, and they're not going to know whose work they're reviewing. So it's double blind. And that kind of frees up everybody to be as honest as possible, to be as helpful as possible, without worrying about any sort of retaliation or anything like that. So the peer review process is double anonymous. When you open up your peer reviews that you've been assigned, you're not going to know who's reviewing your work. And when you send your comments back, they're not going to know who reviewed it. So it's going to be completely anonymous. So please be as honest as you need to be. Again, this isn't trying to spare anybody's feelings, or on the flip side, it's not trying to be mean. It's trying to give people the feedback that they need to make their draft better, to improve the quality so that their final research paper is as good as it can be. So the way that this is all working, right now you've submitted your drafts to Turnitin. So Turnitin has this great kind of program where it will take all of the drafts that got sent in, and then what it will do is it will have its pool of peer reviewers, which is everybody that is now registered in Turnitin, and it will take those drafts and it'll assign those drafts randomly to the different peer reviewers. So different students are going to get different drafts, so you're not going to be doing everybody's peer review. I believe we're going to be doing 5 peer reviews per student. And in this way, it's designed so that every single draft will get reviewed by multiple individuals, and that way you get multiple looks for your draft that you submitted. So if you submitted draft number 4 will get 5 people that are taking a look at it. You'll get 5 pieces of feedback, and this will help you understand what it is that you need to do to improve your feedback. Now, if you haven't taken a look at the peer review assignment yet, in Turnitin, this is the link that you click on, the methods draft peer mark assignment, and that'll link you to the peer review assignment. And because this is your first research paper, and because this is probably your first peer review assignment, it's highly guided, highly structured. Usually peer reviews are open-ended. Usually if I'm doing a peer review, I will get a paper, and the editor will say, basically, what do you think? And that's very open-ended. I don't think we're quite ready for that yet. So we have a guided review process, and it's just a series of yes or no questions. So the way that it'll look is something like this. You'll have the method section that'll pop up that you're reviewing next to, on one side of the screen. And then on the other side of the screen in Turnitin, you'll see the questions. And the questions are in order of their content and APA questions. The content questions are in the order of the information that you should receive or you should encounter. And you simply just, answer each question and say, yes, did they get it correct, or no, did they get it incorrect? So for example, content, subjects, correct number of total subjects. Did they mention there are 81, I think, subjects in this experiment? So did they get the correct number of total subjects? If they did, then you would indicate yes. If they didn't, you would just write in no. I believe it's open text right now because that's easier to understand when you get the feedback. So all you have to do is write in yes or no. That's the only things that I'm looking for. Correct number of male subjects, yes or no. Correct average age, yes or no. Correct standard deviation for age. So it guides you through what it is that you should be looking for. And the criteria is that if they did it correct, give them a yes. If they did it incorrectly, give them a no. If they're missing the information, that's also a no, right? So if they didn't mention the average age, just indicate no. And you don't even have to mention average age is missing or anything like that. It's just yes or no's for this point. Did they cite Roediger and McDermott, 1995? It's either going to be there or it's not going to be there. So again, give them that yes or no. And then you'll also have APA questions as well. So, was the method section, was the methods heading correctly formatted? Was it center and in bold? Was the subjects heading correctly formatted? So you are going to have to draw on your knowledge of APA that we built up so far. But, again, it's just yes or no. And then for some of them, for the Times New Roman, that'll be apparent. Font size 12 point, as long as it seems close. I don't expect you to download these and measure them with a ruler or anything. But, as long as it seems close to text double spaced, 1-inch margins all around, it'll be obvious if they haven't done that. So, so just go through it. And again, yes or no's. And then once you click submit, that feedback will be sent to the student, again, completely anonymously. And that's how you're going to help each other make sure that your sections, your method draft in this case, are the best that they possibly can be. So that's also the reason why we have 5 people reviewing each individual paper, because I understand and I know that you're learning APA style at this point. So one of you might think that the procedure heading was correctly formatted, when in fact it was incorrectly formatted. 4 of you will probably say, no, it was incorrectly formatted. So you might get that where not everybody agrees. 4 say yes, 1 say no, 3 say yes, 2 say no. And that again helps you get that sort of consensus vote in terms of, did I do this correctly? And at the very least, it'll alert to you that this is something that you need to correct, or at least take a look at to make sure that you're doing it correct. So use the peer review feedback to make your assignment better. So the peer review feedback is going to be due October 28th by midnight. So again, we got some time on that. And just to ease your mind to be as honest as you possibly can, it is way kinder to be honest than to give people a false idea of how they did. So it is way kinder to say, oh, by the way, you did the method section heading incorrect, than to just say, oh yeah, no, that's fine. It's, it's completely correct. So be honest. That's the best way to help each other. And take comfort in the fact that I do not look at the peer reviews when I grade the method section for your method section draft grade. So if you need to give a very negative, no, you got everything wrong review, don't worry that I'm going to take a look at that and say, oh, well, I guess this person is going to get a low grade. I grade these drafts as drafts. So what I'm looking for is kind of a basic attempt at writing a method section rather than a perfect finished version of it. So your peer reviews will have no impact whatsoever on my grading of your method section. In fact, I won't even look at those until I've graded the method section. All right, so again, that's when it's due. And then after the peer review assignment, what do you do after you receive your peer reviews? Well, first thing is, if you feel that the peer review system is being abused, then you need to notify me, the editor, that something weird or something incorrect is going on. So for example, if you see one peer review and it's just all yeses, and every other peer review that you received has said that you've done certain things correct and you've done certain things incorrectly. Basically, if you feel that one of your reviewers did not take the time to read your draft and just decided to click yes all the way down and submit that review. That's an abuse of the peer review system. We're working here as a community, helping each other out. We all need to contribute to this. If that's the case, I cannot, in a class even this size, go through every single peer review to check every single peer review. I can check a sample, which I typically do, but people can slip through the cracks. So if you feel that it's been unfair, you need to notify the editor, that is me, to take a look specifically at that peer review. And this is just, this is good career advice. This is how it's handled in the real world. So to just give you an example, when I was submitting to the Journal of Graphic Novels and Comics, I had a reviewer that was being unprofessional. So they were basically asking for all these changes to my manuscript, and when I made those changes and I resubmitted it, they said, well, we want these new changes now. And I just knew if I made those changes, they would say to themselves, well, I want these new changes. They were trying to block my publication. It was clear that they had an agenda and they were trying to block my publication. So what I did is I emailed the editor and I said I was wondering if I could discuss the latest comments with you. In particular, I'm not sure how to proceed regarding the comments made by reviewer number 1. Can we have a phone call or could we discuss it via email? And her response was basically that in not so many words, reviewer 1 was out of line, and just take a look at what reviewer said and make a couple of changes here, and then if you have any other concerns to contact her. So that's what you do if you feel you're being treated unfairly. So if you feel once you get your reviews back and somebody didn't take the time or didn't put in the effort, let me know. Just send me a message via Canvas Messages and just say, can you take a look at one of my reviews? And I'll be more than happy to do that. And then I'll handle that situation to make sure that they participate fully in the next review process. So that's the first thing to do after the peer review. Second thing you want to do is you want to use the feedback from your peer review. That's why we're doing these peer reviews. So take a look at your feedback. And you will see things like, did I do this correctly? 5 yeses. Awesome. Did I do this correctly? 5 no's. Oh, I better go back and check that. Oh, I'm missing the age of the subjects. Oh, I forgot to mention, that they were here at IUSB. Oh, I didn't do this bold flush left like I was supposed to. So use it to improve your method section. And what we're going to do is we're going to, for your final paper, have this peer review summary. And this is going to be where you track the changes that you made to your draft in response to your responses to the reviewers. So I will upload these Word documents very soon. And basically what it will do is it'll have every single question that was asked on these peer review guided questions. And then what I would like you to do is in the Word document, just indicate how many yeses you had and then indicate the changes that the responses made. So if you had 5 yeses, the changes could be, none needed, not applicable. If you had 0 yeses, you might say, correct number of female subjects, 0 yeses, changed it from 2 to, 81, whatever it might have been. So this is where you kind of indicate the changes that you made in your draft. And that again is something that we do in professional publications. When I give back my my redone manuscript, I literally say, in response to point 1 from reviewer number 2, I changed this line, to this line. In response to, comment number 2, I included the reference for this. In response to comment number 3, so you indicate what changes you've done as part of your revision process. And then these documents will be available in Canvas. And then that will be due with your research paper. So once you finally hand in your final research paper, you will also hand in these peer review response summaries. So basically, as you're going through revising your drafts, when you make a change, just have it open up in a separate document, write just that little note about the changes that you made, and use those peer reviews to improve your final writing research paper. All right, so that's the peer review process, the peer review assignments have already been assigned to everybody, so they are there and ready to go for you and turn it in. Any questions on this procedure before we move to correlations? All right.